Rebel Tory MPs are pushing for Rishi Sunak to quit before he's disposed. We're going to read into this more from The Guardian, you guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here with an article from The Guardian with the headline, "The rebel Tory MPs are pushing for Rishi Sunak to quit before he's disposed. Some say to be lobbying for the PM to resign to avoid speculative of a coup, while others are waiting for the outcome of May local elections." Guys, while you're here, make sure you hit the like button and share across social media so others are notified of this video. So, before we read into it, guys, I'm just going to share my thoughts on this. I actually thought that the rebels were kind of dealt with and calmed down after the whole Rwandan bill, but we knew there would be still some rebel MPs anyway because of where the country is, the state is in right now, what the polls are saying right now, what the public are actually saying in person as well right now. There's a lot of anger, as you can rightly say. We have crumbling NHS, broken schools, an uncontrollable immigration system, crime is up, Brexit is still happening, causing damage to the country, which nobody wants to talk about as well. There are just so many issues, and there are obviously lots of people who think that by voting reform, it will, because they don't trust Labour, they think a reform will make a difference. There are people like myself who think voting for Green, because I believe that Greens will make a difference, even though, like reform, I'm not going to have. I may have an impact in the general election, but not actually going to gain any MP seats. But I, like many people, don't trust Labour. But I also believe that Labour would do a better job than the Conservatives, because it's been 14 years since we last had a Labour government. It's not the same people anymore. It's not the Gordon Browns of Blairites. Now, you can say that they might have some policies and ideas of them, and that's whether you can agree to or disagree. And you can call them red Tories if you want, but until they're in power, we don't really know what they're going to do. They say a lot of. It's one thing to say things about what you're going to do. It's another when it comes to action. And the thing is like, we don't know. We honestly don't know until they're in that situation. But what I do know is right here and right now, I'm sick and tired of Conservatives. I'm tired of them. I'm fed up of them. I'm bored of them. I don't like covering them, but I do it because I feel like at times it's important. We just want them to move out the way and someone else to come in. We really do. And it looks like, obviously based off this story, is that perhaps they may be looking to try some kind of coup to get Rishi Sunak out. And I don't want another leadership contest. I don't want this. We just want a general election. We just want that general election. We want to have our voice back. And I know a lot of people are kind of put off right now with politics, and I don't blame people for feeling like they're being put off politics. Especially when you look back at Partygate, the promises that were made at Brexit, the amount of money that has gone missing, taxpayer money that's been spent on things, and it's just gone straight down the drain. Like, there's some really bad, nasty stuff that's come out from the last several years. And it's really disheartening. And it does put people off politics. And it does put people off having hope for the future. And especially when you have an opposition that's not prepared to give people hope. To say that that they're gonna offer an alternative. I don't hear it enough. The only premise that people have is that, oh, but they're not Tories. That's the only premise you've got on. But they lack enough policy, Labour, at the moment. Now, obviously, when the manifesto comes out, then things might be different. But until then, you can only go by what policies they've showed their hands to. And I would just be cautious of that, because they can easily change them and alter them. People saying they did. There's some people have said that they didn't U-turn on their green policy. Well, they're putting less money in, so that you didn't say that at the beginning. So there is that argument as well. But this here, do we really want Liz Truss Do you think that she, as a prime minister, would be better for them in the for a general election? No, I can't see her knocking on doors in any way, shape, or form. So I don't see her being the one to oust Rishi Sunak. So who? Let's just say this coup happens, right? Let's say hypothetically they go all the way to make it to the mayoral elections in May. All right. Let's say that Rishi Sunak was originally planning his general election. Instead of it was in May, which was some people are speculating, let's just say it got pushed back to November or whatever, autumn time, right? And then the letters come in and he's disposed of. Who's going to take over? Penny Mordaunt? No. She can't even carry a sword properly. Kimmy Bakanoff? No. She's a bit off the head crazy. Lee Anderson? No. He's a bit of a crazy person. He's a bit nuts in my opinion. Michael Gove. Michael Gove is probably out of all the Conservatives probably the least dumbest. He would probably be okay. Jeremy Hunt, God no. Considering what he'd done to the health service and what he's doing as Chancellor, no. I don't think he's got any capabilities whatsoever. Who else are we looking at? Boris Johnson. Well, I don't think Boris Johnson would come back in these circumstances, simply because as silly of a man that man is, I don't think he's dumb enough to come back as Prime Minister only to lose the general election. He will want to stay on the sidelines here. So yeah, the number of the replacement for Sunak is impossible. There's no one to replace him because they don't have somebody who's going to be a real threat and a challenge to someone that's actually going to take the party forward. So this is the situation we are in, and it sucks. It sucks so much. Because even if whether they change or they don't change, I still feel they're going to lose either way. So the Tory MPs critical of Rishi Sunak's leadership are hoping he will stand down voluntarily to avoid the speculative of a damaging coup, and are looking to May's local elections as a potential crunch point, The Guardian has been told. A former minister said several Conservative MPs had contacted Graham Brady, who heads the 1922 committee of backbench Tory MPs, to say that they want the Prime Minister to quit, but they have not sent in letters of no confidence yet. A former Prime Minister said that they believe Sunak's Downing Street was too complacent about the risks he faces after no new public challenges emerged after two heavy by-election defeats for the party this week. They kind of just gave up on the by-elections. They didn't even didn't even try to hold on to them. Number 10 thinks that they're not much in trouble at all over a leadership challenge, which feels a bit arrogant, they said. Quite a lot of moderate MPs now agree with the traditional anti-Rishi types to say that the best course of action is not for us to remove him, but for him to stand down voluntarily, and they're speaking to Graham Brady about it. That's why you're not hearing much noise about it. I'm not sure about that. I know it's happening. The magnitude of it's difficult to say. It avoids the pain of removing a PM that might even prevent protracted leadership contests if one person emerges as a successor like Rishi did. I would just say, like, if you are seriously contemplating getting rid of Rishi Sunak or removing him, just call a general election. Let the public decide. In a democracy, you let people decide. But they won't want the people to decide, do they? Because they know what's going to happen. The situation was less like the removal of Boris Johnson, they said, than a slower motion and less contagious Liz Truss. It's not like they think Rishi is terrible like she was, but he had to go for 18 months and the plan isn't working, they said. Since Labour won Kingswood and Wellingborough seats, overturning sizeable Conservative majorities, Sunak has faced renewed calls for some of his MPs to tack further to the right on such areas as immigration and tax cuts, especially after reformed UK formed by Nigel Farage won 10 minus plus the votes in both contests. As yet, no MPs have joined Simon Clarke and Andrew Jenkins on calling publicly for him to go, but one certain senior Conservative source said many MPs had decided to wait and see how the party performed in local elections on the 2nd of May. This will be a crunch moment for a lot of those groups that stick or twist time, they said. If the locals go badly, they will very much expect someone to launch a serious attempt to remove the PM. If Rishi was still PM on the 31st of May, he will be the PM at the election. Other Conservative MPs, however, dismissed such ideas as unlikely and counterproductive. One long-serving backbencher said, "Never say never in politics, but I haven't detected any signs from colleagues that we need to change the leader. Yes, some disagree on the policy, but most people recognise that changing leader is literally months from election is not a particularly good strategy." Yeah, I just don't see. I don't see a situation where the Conservatives win the general election as of right now. I can't see it. I just can't see it. Unless they obviously rigged the elections so the numbers are in their favour. But I just don't see where they can win this. That's the thing I'm struggling to see. Even if they removed Rishi Sunak. I would quietly say to anyone unhappy with Rishi, he's going to be going sooner or later anyway. Most likely to the board of an investment bank. So you might as well wait for an election defeat. Another former cabinet minister said, "One thing I always hears from voters is that if they don't like divided parties, so if anyone thinks the by-elections mean we need to change leader, they're taking completely wrong lessons from them. Also, when we have won elections, we've done so from the centre right. So arguing that the answer is a leader who moves further to the right is also missing the point. A government source says Sunak has achieved a number of areas, including on tax cuts and migration." Excuse me? Tax cuts and migration. No, I'm not better off. Are you better off? Let me know in the comment section down below. His plan is a Conservative plan. It's starting to work, and it's only by sticking with it and uniting behind it can we take the fight to Labour. 14 years, guys. Has tax cuts and are they getting a grip on this? I don't think they're getting a grip on this at all. I think we don't want another leadership contest. We want a general election. The public want a general election. We want to have our vote now. We're tired. We're fed up, and we're sick of it. We try to, times we just have a laugh and whatnot about them, but 14 years, people have died, kids are starving, the education system's crumbling. I mean, it's just people relying on food banks to get by. I mean, some of the food banks can't even hold. I mean, it's just inhumane, the treatment of some people in this country by this government is immoral. The Home Office, the way they're handling immigrants is just pretty despicable as well. We need something. We need something different, and we just cannot be the Conservatives anymore. And I know we're stuck between red and blue, and I get the criticism and I get the concerns about Labour, but we cannot have another 4 years of Conservatives, 4 or 5 years. We just cannot have it, guys. We just can't. We need something different. So, guys, what do you make of this article? Do you think there's any truth to it? Do we think there may be another leadership contest before a general election? Do we think questions about the May local election may have an impact? What are your thoughts on this potential coup and some of the rebel Conservative MPs? Do you think there actually may be someone who could replace Sunak and actually have a decent chance at the next general election? Or you're in agreement with me is that stop dwindling, stop dithering, call a general election now and let the people have their vote? Let your thoughts down in the comments below. If you found this video interesting, please hit the like button. We greatly appreciate it. Share it across social media so others are notified of this video, and subscribe because it really does help support the channel. And if you want to financially support me in the work that I do here, you can do so by becoming a YouTube member for as little as 99p, or join me on Patreon or Rumble for exclusive content there as well. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.